Hi guys. It's been a minute. Uh, there's not much to really talk about or show, I guess. But I guess today I'm going to talk about a boring subject, not for a lot of women and not for a lot of sneakerheads, but for regular people, shoes. Uh, my thumbnail will show that, and I'll flip it around. Yeah, there's three of my pair of shoes. Hold on. Yeah, that's three pair of my shoes. That I have. Yeah, there's Feet Peak. Yeah. And there's all different pairs of shoes. Nike, Crocs, Doc Martin, Nike, pair of Nike. Think there's some Italian shoes up there. Another pair of Nike. I don't know what those are. These shoes. Those are maybe some Skechers, GBX, whatever. Some kind of no-name mocks. Those right there are Merrell mules. You know. And then another pair of Merrells that wore out. Another pair of Crocs. Multiple computers. There's another pair of there's a pair of Converse down there. Pair of Italian right here. I really like these. They're awesome. Pair of no-name Mexican shoes. Another pair of no-name Mexican shoes. Pair of Nikes I don't wear. Another pair of Nikes I don't wear. Nike bowling shoes. Right there. The beige ones. And Doc Martin. Yeah. Yeah, those are all my different shoes that I have. And it's not like I went out and bought them in a day. These shoes, excuse me, now I'm sweating like a fat pig. But these shoes are shoes that, I bought over years. Now, these pairs right here, right there, the Rasta Vans, those shoes I bought early 90s. Bought them during I think during when I was dating my girlfriend. She could tell you. Ex-girlfriend way back. I think during Wayne's World. Yeah. During the first Wayne's World when it was in theaters. Yeah, I bought those. They were on closeout for like $5. Now, they're freaking vintage Vans. So, but somebody had once told me, if you switch your shoes, you wear every, Just wear a different pair of shoes. 2 pair of shoes last as long as 3 pair, or 1 pair lasts as long as 3 pair. Something like that. You know, I'm not a shoe expert. I mean, I own a few pair. Not as many as my one ex-girlfriend. She was from Thailand. She had a room. Every pair of shoes she had are the ones she most wore, all laid out on the floor. And she'd walk up and go, "How do these look? How do these look?" And I'm not going to be embarrassing and, speak in her, broken English. But, she'd walk up to shoes, just stick herself there. "How do these look?" I'm like, "They look fine." "How do these look?" And I'm like, and then she had a wall of shoes. Just a room, a bedroom dedicated to shoes. Well, me, I just have a few. I don't have a lot. Just a few. Not an insane amount. Oh, focus. There. I bought a couple of decent clothes racks. I got a few clothes, and I got clothes that, clothes that I never wear. I just don't like to throw crap out. But, that's my shoe situation. And this is probably the most boring freaking fucking video you guys ever think. Oh. Man, I can't give you I can tell actually, I can tell you the lineage of all my shoes. It's just buy a pair of shoes, wear them. I don't wear 1 pair of shoes until they wear out. I wear a couple, 3 different pair of shoes, every few days. When I'm around the house or whatever. Oh, what I'm doing here is trying to trigger the overhead light, garage. You guys know me. But those black Merrells, those are my daily drivers. Paid $100. Merrell was having a sale. And Merrell's a pretty damn good shoe. Last was like, got another pair of the same ones that, I rode those dogs and they wore out. Usually it's the heel for me that wears out. But, I don't tie my shoes. I tie them in a little weird knot. I'll show you. Oh God, these are so dusty. But let's see. I'm trying to set up a nice little thing here. But like right here, I tie them in a little knot. I go down, wrap around, up and through, and then pull it tight, and then voila, I got a pair of slip-ons that I don't have to tie. And guess what? I'm not falling on the floor. I'm not tripping over them. And these are good old Vans, vintage. I guess I'm old enough to have, vintage Vans. I always call these my Rasta because, the pot smokers and the, Jamaicans and all that. This will probably be, I'll probably get 1 or 2 people watch. But, I don't know, just figured I'd talk about my shoes today. Just to keep content going. It's not a click or bait and click like everybody else on the internet or on YouTube. Not e-begging, like not Dark Side Phil or Aaron M. Holt or any of these guys. But I do want to remind people to come out to Hackmania from 9th to 11th. I'll be there from 8 to 12. I'm not going to be doing anything. I'm just going to be walking around, probably in my Rasta Vans. You'll see me, if you see me, come say hi. If not, oh well. I'm there just to enjoy the comedy and the podcast of all the people at Hackmania. That's about it. I think my short attention span people will, they're checking out. But, peace out, Boy Scout.